Hello my precious gems, this is Sapphire and welcome to a new video. Inside of today's video we're going to discuss 12 tips that could help you improve your gameplay inside of Squad Busters. If you like the video, press the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. And before we start, I would like to ask you to use any creator code you want inside of the shop to support the community. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so I decided to split this video into two parts. The first part is in-game related tips, which are the tips that would help you inside of an actual match. And then the lobby related tips, which are the things that, well, you should use your actual lobby resources on, so like your gold, your gems, etc. Okay, so let's start with the in-game related tips first. The first tip that I would like to give you is about game starters. So when you first load up the game and you start, you get a bunch of random units. The best units in my opinion to start with are Goblin, Chicken, Greg. Of course those units would change depending on the modifier that you have, but those three units in general are the best to start stacking up resources and getting more brawlers or more characters, let's say, up and going. The second thing I want to talk about is the chests. The chests prices stack up with the amount of units that you have, not their quality. So for example, let's say you only have your starter unit. Every chest that you would get after the starter unit would cost 3. So if you have 2 units, now it will cost 5. 3 units, it will cost 10. 4 units, it will cost 15. And it doesn't matter if they are fused or not. So I would always advise to focus on stacking up on 3 of the same unit so that you can fuse them and get cheaper chests. So like for example, let's say you started off with a goblin to get some gold going. I would suggest to go for 3 goblins so that you can have 1 by the end and your chest will go back to costing 3 instead of 10 if you had 2 different units in that case. So again, the money stacks are as follows. The first chest is for 3 when you have 1 unit. When you have 2 units, it costs 5. When you have 3 units, it costs 10. 4, it costs 15. 5, it costs 20. 6, it costs 25. 7 costs 30. 8 costs 40. And every other unit that's after 9 and more, will cost 50. Okay, so the third tip now that I would like to talk about is the modifiers. Focus those modifiers. They are really the winning aspect here. If you have something like spell overload, try to get as many spells as you can. Maybe if you have the cannon unlocked, try to deploy as many cannons as you can. Those all help, trust me. Inside of the ghost modifier, for example, try having bow. Bow is,
spirits are calling my name.
Well, as we probably know, very good at dealing with mobs, so in the Royal Ghost modifier he will help you stack up ghosts and get the advantage for you. I'll be making a guide on all the modifiers, so stay tuned for that in the future. So that's it for tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to focus on certain units for the task at hand. So this is kind of similar to tip 3, but in this case it's more general than just modifiers. So for example, like I already said, bow is amazing for mobs. So if you want to kill many mobs like baby dragons in Green World or I don't know, the big bots in the desert world, then you could probably go for a bow or a fused bow. Greg is for trees, as you probably know. The goblin is amazing at giving you the good start with the money, etc. Chickens are good for running. So those things. The task that you want to go for, get the unit that focuses on that task. Don't waste your resources on characters that won't help you within the task that you need to go for. Of course, if you get the bad RNG, then you're gonna get the bad RNG. I'm not talking like this. I'm talking when you have multiple choices, then try to choose the better or the more well-suited unit for your task. So the 5th tip that I'd like to talk about is to diversifying your builds. So if you have, for example, ranged units, since ranged units are vulnerable, you would like to have a tank in front or some maybe all-rounder or something like that. Try to have multiple different units that can help each other and have some synergy together. Like for example, if you have, like I said before, many ranged units, try getting a Primo or an Nita or something like that. Or if all your units are close range, then maybe consider getting an Archer Queen or a Witch or something like that. Having more diversity inside of your builds helps you when you get ambushed, especially. and it can help you throughout the match, having multiple different forces to tackle different tasks. So our fifth tip is to not get distracted by other people and focus resources. Focusing resources can be a bit hard, especially when we as players want to kill and we want to have fun, we want to test out those units, bash others, but really the best way to play the game is to actually focus the resources. So getting those trees, going for the mobs, the big mobs in the middle, going for the gem mine, for example. Those are what actually wins you the game and lets you keep your streak. So focusing players may not be the best idea. Sure, you can go for kills if you have a good kill, but try to know your matchups and try to understand what your enemy has. For example, if you have a bunch of fused units and your enemy has only a bunch of ranged units that won't hurt you or that are not fused, then you could probably go and engage with them. But if you see that your enemy has chicken or hog rider, then expect that he's gonna run away from you, and then I wouldn't follow him because I would then be wasting time that I would be putting into other resources. So yeah, do not let other people distract you and focus resources. The next tip that I would like to talk about, and which is our sixth tip, is to reserve speed. Reserving speed is extremely important because speed boots actually work on both aspects of the game, running and attacking. So when you want to run, speed actually helps you, as you probably know, but some people that I've seen in the Reddit, the Discord, they still don't understand that speed actually helps you during attacks too. It works like a mini rage spell. When you press the speed button while standing still, your units will attack faster, or some other units that do other things like the healers will heal faster. So they will do their tasks faster in general, let's say. Yeah, so try to reserve your speed so that it can help you when you either need to chase someone, run away, or you want to actually use it to attack someone. It will be very helpful and change the tide of the match. Okay, so our last gameplay tip is to focus on placement. Top 5, as you have probably seen, keeps your streak. So try to always get top 5. Don't just go around and search for kills or something like that. Just keep your placement. If you see that you have 5th place, then try to kill some mobs and keep the gems like they are. Don't lose gems. Don't make people attack you. Maybe run away. Running away isn't really bad in this game. After all, you're focusing the objectives, which is gems. Running away is not like chickening out. You aren't like doing something bad by running away. You're doing the right thing. You are actually winning the game, which is arguably what you need to do. You don't need to actually engage with people and attack them. I've seen some people talk about strategies where you don't need to attack anyone, which is also a viable strategy, So play the game as you want, but try to focus on your placement. It's really important, and it's more important than anything else to keep your streak going and to have those better chests that give you more resources and more units. And yeah, so next up we're gonna talk about lobby tips, and like I told you, I have 4 lobby tips, which are things to do inside of, the lobby. So let's start with beginner challenges. Beginner challenges are, weekly challenges after that are amazing for progression. You have to do them daily. They really help you. They give you good resources, they give you good units, and they aren't usually that hard to do. Getting top 5 is not really that hard, or busting some boss unit or busting some enemy unit is usually not that hard. I would suggest, though, that you don't play when you don't have chest tickets, because it could make you lose your streak. Well, it's depending. If you don't have a streak, then it's probably okay to play without chest tickets, but if you do have a win streak and you play with chest tickets, it can make you lose your win streak, so look out for that when you do anything. Next up, since we're talking about win streak, let's talk about chest tickets. My favorite way to spend my gold that I have is buying chest tickets. It's really the best way to spend your gold inside of this game. buying units is not really worth it, because you know, you can get a lot more units using this exact same gold amount that you would have paid on that unit, but buying chest tickets. So yeah, buy those chest tickets, get high placements using the tips that I already told you, and you will probably get a lot more units, and a lot better quality units, so with the same gold that you would have spent on bow, for example. Next up, it's something really tiny, but it's about the chests that you unlock in the end. I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes it actually shows a little tiny +1. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't. Well, that's how you know how many units you would get from that chest, which is really sick. So if you have a normal chest and you pressed like 4 times and you got +1 3 times during your presses, then you probably are getting 4 units out of this. One unit and then 3 extra from the same unit. I think also some people have a theory about unlocking new characters, which is quite a hard ordeal in this game. And it has to do with chests not upgrading at all. So if your chest is not big or super big and you didn't get a +1 near it, then you probably are unlocking a new brawler, a new unit, let's say. So yeah, keep that in. It's not really a tip because it doesn't affect your actual gameplay. It's RNG after all. But yeah, it's good to keep that in mind when you're opening your chests. Okay, so my last tip is a bit pay to win, but I'm gonna try to keep it generalistic. Passes are really good. So like every other Supercell game, if you've played a Supercell game before, every time the pass is the best value you can get if you want to pay money on the game. You know, the first pass gives you an evolution for a normal unit, and then the normal pass gives you a super unit, which is amazing value for the price. Again, if you want to pay money on the game, you don't have to. The passes are already super good. Grinding those gems and going for the passes is the best thing you can do to get your progression going. But if you want to spend money on the game, if you are really enjoying it and you have the money and you aren't taking someone else's money, then yeah, go for the pass. Don't buy the shop offers aren't really super worth it. I mean, if you're a whale, then you're probably gonna buy anything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about low spenders and players who actually want to have the most value out of their buck. Then yeah, getting the passes will be amazing value, especially for those mega units and the super evolution unit. By the way, mini extra tip I would give is try using those super tickets. Well, they aren't really tickets, they are just redemptions. Try to redeem your super on a new unit that you would get. I know that there are tier lists and there are good units and there are bad units, but regardless of what you do, you are gonna get super units eventually, especially for those starter ones. If you already have your let's say primo on 7 out of 10 for super, then using it will be probably a big waste. I would suggest using it on something new and of higher rarity. So if you, for example, somehow didn't connect your Supercell ID by now, and you don't have the Archer Queen yet unlocked, then it's probably a good idea to unlock the Archer Queen as soon as you can buy the pass, so that you can instantly upgrade her to a 10 out of 10, which would make an amazing jump for the damage of the unit and its combat potential. Anyway, so this was it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry for asking again, but please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps out this channel, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.